ready.
Okay, so this past summer, I studied abroad with the Emerald Eagle Scholars in Costa Rica, and so we left in June. And one of the things on our agenda was we were going to go see an indigenous group of people called the Bribri. And the Bribri have been living in Costa Rica for like 200 years or something. And so it was like, it was our first field trip that we were going to have that was going to last like longer than a day. And what we were going to do is we were going to go live with them and kind of see like their lifestyle and everything, like how they've gotten into organic farming and everything. And so we go, this is definitely the first week that we've gotten there, and this is like day 6, I believe. And so we go to the Bribri, and already to start off, it's like, there's this little hut area, and as soon as you walk in, there's like a poster on the side that says like all these different tarantulas that live in the area. And I was already like, guys, this is a sign, like, I'm not feeling this right now. And so we get there, and I'm already like super tense about all these spiders and everything. But the first day, all we did was just like talk to them, and we like just learned different things that they do around the place. And our tour guide, who was a part of the Bribri, was telling us like, okay, we're gonna take a hike in the morning to a waterfall in Panama. We were all like, cool, like this will be like our first adventurous thing that we'll be doing. And so so the day goes by, like we all like go to sleep or whatever, and we wake up the next morning, and like we all get dressed and get ready to go on the hike. And so we get ready for the hike, and our Bribri tour guide was telling us that the hike is about 45 minutes. And so we're like, cool, like this is gonna be nothing. And so we're going, and it starts pouring down rain. First of all, it rains every day in Costa Rica, but that day it just seemed like it rained so much harder. And so it's like incredibly muddy. And also, I should have said this beforehand, I was wearing like a white long sleeve, what's it called, Under Armour shirt, and a like pink leggings, and like some really like hiking type sandals. And so like we're going, and my shirt is already like soaked. And then on the hike, he's telling us like you have to not, when you can't be holding onto the person in front of you, because if they fall, you'll fall, and it'll just be like a domino effect. And he's also telling us like just keep your hands to your sides, like try not to touch anything around you, because you don't know what could be poisonous or what has thorns or anything. So I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what have we just been put through? And then we're walking, and it's so incredibly slippery. Like, I can't even get my feet to go even a foot without like falling. And I'm not feeling this at all. Like, I'm just like, I'm ready to go home. I do not want to do this anymore. I look at the ground, and there's red ants all over the ground. They're on my legs. And there's like any type of bug that you can probably think of. And I'm just looking on the ground for tarantulas. Like, I'm making sure there's nothing on the ground. And so we're going even further. And then there's a river that we had to get to and cross that river before we got to the actual mountainside. And so we go and we cross the river. And I was trying to take my shoes off so that like my feet could rest from all the like whatever was in my shoes. And the river is incredibly rocky, so I had to put my shoes back on and walk across the river. And once we get to the other side, and this is a group of like 20 of us, it's 15 students, our 2 advisors, our professor and his wife, and our tour guide who would be with us for the rest of the trip. And so we're crossing the river, and once we crossed the river and got to the other side, like the Panama side, he tells us, he's like, oh, y'all want to turn back now? But he had a smile on his face, and only the people in front heard him, so we didn't like tell everyone else in the rest of the line. We were like, no, let's just keep going. So we keep going, and he's like, okay, you guys have to be careful because it's going to get really, really steep. And we're like, okay. And so he was not joking. It got incredibly steep. It was actually very like, it was pretty much just going up a mountain, and it got very narrow, and it was still slippery and raining, and I'm crying at this point, like I'm basically bawling. And we're going up the mountain, and just I'm just like trying to like make it. I'm like, I just need to get to this waterfall, whatever this is. And we're going, and about 10 minutes before we actually get to the waterfall, I slipped sideways, and so then I'm just hanging off the side of this mountain. I'm just hanging there, literally like as you've seen in movies, just like both my hands at the edge. And it's not like a free fall, it's more just like a bunch of rock. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hanging, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, God's gonna do two things right now. He's either gonna let me live or he's gonna let me die. And the girl in front of me and the guy behind me had to help me up because I was so dehydrated because I wasn't prepared for as long of a hike as this was gonna be, or what this was gonna be like. So could not pull myself up. They had to help me up. And we get to the waterfall. It's not even really this glorious waterfall. It's like a watering hole. So I was even more pissed off. And I didn't even like swim or anything. I like took off my shirt, which was absolutely disgusting, put it in the water, put it back on, and just sat there and was like, I almost died today. And then realized that we have to go back down. And I almost wanted to cry. And my shirt just smelled absolutely awful. There was no way to wash it out. I wanted to give it a ceremonial burning, but I couldn't because we weren't allowed to use like fire or anything. But it smelled awful. I had to just throw it away. So that's my story.
So